Ugh, and I thought 7-2 was bad. Okay, well, it was. This game technically wasn't worse. But after having gone down 7-2 on Thursday, I really expected that the Kings would pick up their game. Yes, it's against the Sabres, who are notoriously not good, and we notoriously play terrible against teams like that. And yes, it was an afternoon game, and notoriously, we really can't play in the afternoon. But I had this unfounded hope that maybe we'd kind of get at least a running start into it. No, 17 seconds in, Jake Muzzin took a penalty, and I was just like, okay, well, this is gonna be a really long game. Really long game. Yeah, it did not go very well, obviously. In the first period, we had a power play that reminded us all why we can't score on the power play. And then the Sabres scored, because that's how these things go. It was a completely obvious play from the entire time that the puck was in their zone. In our zone. The Kings were out of position. They didn't really look like they knew where the puck was. Jonathan Quick was sprawling out into the splits, which he does very well, and he kicked out the first puck, but then it kind of bounced up and behind him, and he knocked it in, like with his arm. Like, it was this really awkward kind of move. And I guess I can see why Coach Stevens decided to challenge the play. But it was clear that the player who was interfering with Quick and his outskated leg was not the reason that the puck went in the net. Like, Quick was never going to recover from that position in the amount of time it would have taken him to actually stop the puck from going in behind him. And since he's the one that knocked it in, I can see why the call did not go in our favor. So we lose our timeout. The Buffalo Sabres are up 1-0, and well, yeah, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be that kind of game, but it's like halfway through the first period. I can't really judge yet. That's not being very fair. Give them the first period to kind of wake up, and we left the period only down 1-0, and so, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be okay. Yeah. We did have a power play at the end of the first period, which, unsurprisingly, we did nothing with. So then the second period came, and then that's when it got really, really bad again. They didn't even wait to the third period to really make us want to drink or cry or leave. We're true fans. We don't leave. So the second goal was like 3-ish minutes in, and kind of saw that coming too. Shockingly, none of the Kings on the ice did, and I don't understand that, because the player who ended up getting a hat trick today, guys, I want to say Skillen or Skillet. It's been a really, really long game, guys. Really long game. So anyways, he's coming around. He's got the puck on Quick's blocker side. He skates around the back of the net and shoots it in on Quick's blocker side. You're like, oh, okay. Were there no defensemen on this side of the ice that could see that's what he was doing and be able to stop that? No? Okay, cool. So 2-0. By the time there's 3 minutes left in this period, they do the exact same thing, and we clearly have not learned from our mistakes. So that's just, it's just frustrating. So in the middle of the period, things are clearly not going well. We had 9 shots on goal in the first period, and then 2 in the second. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the Kings are not the kind of team that can afford to only have 2 shots on goal, because those 2 shots are not going to go in. We need volume. Minimum. And 2 shots on goal ain't going to cut it. So Cliffy decides he's going to try and rough some guy up. Okay, sure, change of pace is probably a good thing. I should note that today's top line was Kyle Clifford, Nate Thompson, and Tanner Pearson. Clifford, who's been a healthy scratch. Pearson, who would have been a healthy scratch if Andrei Kopitar was healthy the game before. And the guy who was kind of like an afterthought when we got another player we wanted more. Yeah. Stevens was trying to send a message, and it was clearly not received. Very disappointing. The best part of the second period was when the stick was like flying out of this guy's hand, and at least a zone past him. The ref actually catches it. Best catch of the game. Like, that was awesome. Save of the game, whatever it was. And then gives the stick back to the guy, like, 2 seconds later when the play ends up down the other end. It was awesome. So we had some entertainment. That's good, I guess. Yeah, then it was 4-0 not too long after that. Yeah. 4-0, end of the second period, guys. It was in the McFlurry minute, and we all felt like we should have got a McFlurry for sitting through that. Really, really not the start you want to see from Jonathan Quick. I do not want to look up his save percentage because it's going to be terrifying. He's played 2 games back, and it was 7-2, and this one was 5-1. Guys, the Kings have let in 21 goals in the past 4 games. 21 goals. And how many goals have we scored in that time? 5. Gee, can you imagine why we only have 3 points at this point in the season, and we're expected to be on pace for 62? Guys, 62? What even is that? It's early, but I am not liking what I am seeing from this team. This is a team with too many good players to be in the position that they're in. So anyway, we get to the third period. And there are a couple of scuffles in this period where some players tried to kind of shake it up. Fanuff and Aposco, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Like I said, it's been a long game. They kind of like almost fell into the bench. That was interesting. And a couple of other things like that where, we tried to do something, but it wasn't the right thing. At one point, Jeff Carter has like a wide open net. He has this beautiful, beautiful feed from, I think it was Iafallo, and still can't even get that. And up until then, the only other chance I saw that was even remotely good was a similar setup where Carter set up Kovalchuk and like just hit the post. If those are the best 2 things I can pick out of the game, and the third thing is that a ref caught a stick because that was exciting, that is really not a performance you want to see from your team. So it's 4-0. We finally get a power play goal. We went from having no power play goals and being the last team in the league to get a power play goal to getting 3 in the space of 2 games, except apparently those are the only goals we can score now. We're incapable of scoring 5-on-5. It's just not happening. So one of these scuffles ends up with our guy getting a 2-minute minor, Thompson, and then the other guy clearly made Thompson bleed because he gets a 4-minute minor. And during that, thank God for Drew Doughty. He was actually the one, technically it wasn't him on the power play the last game. It was Toffoli, but it was tipped in by Toffoli. It was Doughty's shot. So this time it was all Drew Doughty. And thank you that our defenseman is the one who has the best and most accurate shot on a power play. Yes, there are concerning things in the LA Kings organization. Not to belittle anything that Doughty does. We all know how much I adore him, and he is fantastic. But yeah, a little concerning, because that's not technically his job. So 4-1, and at this point, the crowd is cheering so loud because they just wanted to know it was possible for the Kings to score a goal. Because being shut out by, pretty sure this is the backup because he's only played 1 game, it's a little depressing. So yes, it is possible for the Kings to score a goal. I hope next game to see that it's possible they score on a 5-on-5. But great goal from Drew, 4-1. There's about 5 minutes left, and I do recall a game once where Jones was in nets, We were 6-3, and then we had 3 minutes left, and I remember thinking, oh gosh, yeah, like we're going to score 3 goals in 3 minutes, and we scored them in 1 minute and 36 seconds. And we tied the game and went to overtime. This is not that same team. That was not going to happen. They pulled quick with about 5 minutes to go, which is the most Patrick Waugh thing I've ever seen. I mean, 5 minutes, that is bold. And then proceeded to spend most of those 5 minutes attempting to chase the puck in the neutral zone so that they couldn't get the empty net goal. Yeah, they ended up getting the empty net goal. Congratulations on your hat trick. Yeah. So 5-1. 5-1. Outscored, like I said, 21-5 in the past 4 games. Anyone else concerned? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully, the team is concerned enough that they will start to turn things around. There are a lot of things that go into it, but like I said, I think I've said this out loud before. Stevens got a pass last year. We were undefeated for the first 8-9 games last season because the team was just kind of so, I don't want to say excited, but there was a definite change in the air, so it really didn't matter who it was. It was not Sutter, who they'd been kind of chafing under, and I love me some Daryl Sutter, you know this too. But it was not Sutter to start the season, and so it did really well, and now we're kind of settling into this season after a very, very disappointing postseason, and you're starting to see that there are a lot of issues going on. If the Kings have no offense, which is fairly true a lot of the time, they can usually make up for it by having phenomenal defense. This is the team that won the Jennings Trophy last year. Wow. I'm going to wrap it up because I can't talk anymore. Just things to think about. The Kings are on a road trip, so yeah, looking forward to screaming at my television for a good deal of time. Hope everyone's weekend goes better than the last few Kings games.